All right, guys, back again today. Uh, Working back here on the shop edition, trying to get this insulated. We're running out of warmish weather. Looks like maybe this week might be about the last of it, according to the 10 days. So I'm trying to get this gable up here sealed out and framing that out now so I can get my foam in and put my put shiplap up on that as well. So it's my plan there. And then yeah, just got to get the eaves finished up, and then I have up here on the top, way up there, because I'm gonna go with a cathedral ceiling in here where my rafter tails hang out. There's a gap up there, so I'm obviously losing all my heat as it goes up out there right now. So I need to get that once I get this done, get up there and get that blocked up, and then ultimately insulate the inside of that. There's kind of a knee wall in there up in the haymow. So gonna be working on that and trying to find I need a set of windows for my garage door. I want to be able to see out. I like my light. I like the natural light in things, and not to walk into a room and have it be dark during the day. So I'm also looking for about a 5x5 window to go there. I do have a window in, but it's about half the size I want. So leave a big enough hole, and I'll find one eventually to put in there. So kind of how I operate around here, as you know now by now. So I know last time when I talked about this out here, I showed my dust collection, which currently is just duct taped up because I got a 6-inch pipe going into a 7-inch pipe. But I know what I didn't mention last time is that dust collection tubing. So usually most people are used to using this green um, drain pipe, 6-inch drain pipe, which currently right now at Menards is about $60 for 10 feet, and I needed about 35 feet, I think, to go across there and out into the dust collection building, and then I need another 10 feet coming back in. And I really didn't want to spend, that much money on it. And living in farm country, I was able to go to an auction and set up, and I bought a 40-foot grain auger, a 7-inch one, and I also bought a 20-foot 6-inch grain auger for $80 total, tax, title, and license out the door. So that got me my whole dust collection tubing. I'm currently also held up with a ratchet strap, but temporary measures that may be semi-permanent, but they work well during the meantime. So yeah, so in doing that, I was just had to disassemble it and pull it home. It was almost too bad. It was a pretty nice auger for, I think everything worked on it. Somebody had kept it up and greased it, but I guess nobody wants a 7-inch auger anymore. They're not big enough for the amount of grain that these grain wagons and semi trucks can haul. So yeah, so $80 on the auction, and I probably was way too high on my initial bid because nobody bid against me. So I could have probably even got it for less, but I'm not going to complain about $80 on something that would have cost me several hundred had I just gone and bought the pieces for it. So yeah, so now it's just to finish this up, and then gonna work on. Ultimately, there'll be basically a whole shop out here. I'm gonna have another table saw, planer, probably a sander. Put a sliding miter saw along that wall, I think. Build a bench and put a sliding miter saw there, and possibly another joiner as well, just because we do a lot of work around here with, of course, with the sawmill, we're always using rough lumber. So oftentimes we're hauling in a whole huge pallet of lumber, and we got to get that all processed down and turned into usable wood. So that requires planing and edging and ripping to width and all that. So it's just a lot of boards everywhere. So if you're trying to build cabinets at the same time, because we always need a couple projects going on, that's one thing around here to keep us busy. If we don't have at least 2 projects going on at the same time, you end up waiting on something to dry. You spray your finish or glue your board up, and then you got to stand around and wait for half an hour to an hour for things to dry so you can get going again. So having a couple of projects just keeps things flowing. It keeps productivity up, and we're able to get a lot more done that way, get projects out of here fast. But we trip over ourselves with hauling in hundreds of board feet of lumber that's rough sawn. It needs to be vacuumed, it needs to be planed, it needs to be edged and all that. And so you got all that stacked in there along with partially done cabinets, and pretty soon you can't move around and all your tables are full. And so hopefully this will make that make it a lot more efficient. And this, having a garage door over there, I'll be able to open it up and just, shove a pallet of lumber in here and set it down and start going to work on it to let it acclimate overnight, usually is what we do, and warm up to the shop. I have learned a little I used to reclaim a lot of lumber initially, before I had my sawmill, because that was my best way to get good wood, was to tear down corn cribs and salvage off of anything, old houses, barns, anywhere. And I know one time, for example, somebody wanted a weathered door, was going to be a sliding door, 3 foot wide. And so I had some 100-year-old pine that I took out of a corn crib. Been sitting out in my machine shed for a couple of years. Never been wet, always been dry. I brought it in, I edged it, I glued it up carefully because, wasn't going to plane it. We wanted a weathered look, and had it set on sawhorses on the clamps, and went in for the night, came out the next morning. The clamps that were underneath were laying on the floor. The ones on top were just loose, sitting there. The 36-inch wide panel that I had glued up had lost a full 1/4 inch overnight, just acclimating to the shop. So luckily 35 3/4 in this case, since it was a sliding door, didn't matter. So I got lucky, was able to still use what I had and not have to cut something apart and add another board that was a 1/4 inch wider later. So always, ever since then, no matter how old the wood is, how dry it's been kept, if it's been outside, it's got humidity, wood shrinks or expands, depending. Usually your inside is going to be drier, whether it's air conditioned in the summer or heated in the winter, especially around here, heated in the winter. I mean, we can approach not much humidity, kiln dry conditions. So you bring something from outside. I find most wood, after I take it out of the kiln, I put it in the machine shed, just for storage. And then when I go to use it, after it's been in there for a little bit, it's usually about 13% moisture. It seems like that's what everything picks up to. And no matter how humid out it gets, it doesn't pick up more. Because you have intercellular moisture, and then you have moisture between the cells of the wood. So when you kiln dry it, you get the water out of the inner cells, and then as it sits outside, the water can pick up, but it doesn't pick up into the cells of the wood. So there's a limit to how much it will get, short of soaking it in water, once you do get it kiln dried. So that's why the 13% seems to stick there, and I'm pretty sure that would be the reason why on that. So this white pine, it was so dry out here this fall. I had fresh cut this summer. I cut the trees down, hauled them here, sawed them up, had them stacked and stickered outside, and they tested at 7% when I brought them in. We had such a dry fall. It was probably 6 weeks without rain. So I just put it up on my shop wall. It's going to be perfectly good as it is with shiplap. We got 1/8 of an inch between each board. So expansion, contraction, it should not be any problem whatsoever. So normally you don't get that around here though. So it was kind of nice to just be able to use it, because it was the perfect wood for what I wanted there. So anyway, that's what I've been up to here this evening, trying to work on this and get this finished up, get it to work and have it warm here, hopefully by the end of the weekend is my plan. So that's the update for now. Until next time.